It's not just Jurgen Klopp in the spotlight. One of his successors, Martin Schmidt, is also a coach with a reputation on the rise. What a job he's done in these parts. 5 years on the backroom staff before he got the job in February of last year. Turned the team around and led them to a 6th place finish last season. Automatic qualification for the group stages of this season's Europa League. Donati with the throw. Turn here for Lallana to bring it away. Grujic with a missed kick in the midfield. Goal scorer off the bench against Barcelona at Wembley just last night to gloss the scoreline with a 4th. That's a dangerous ball in towards Onisiwu, though it wouldn't quite come for him. Encouraging little passage of play for Mainz. That goes to Alex Manninger in the Liverpool goal off Matip. Second start of pre-season for the veteran Austrian. Maybe because of that injury to Loris Karius, the former Mainz man, who may well have started the season as Liverpool's first choice, ahead of Simon Mignolet. Manninger brought in not as competition for those two, just to help them along, aid them with his experience in training and provide backup, I guess, for occasions such as this. Certainly in latter years of his distinguished career, it's a role that he's fulfilled at a number of clubs, most recently in Germany with Augsburg. He was their reserve goalkeeper last year, he and Ragnar Klavan, both making the move to Anfield. About to begin his 3rd season with Liverpool. It's a lovely ball which opens up all sorts of options. Woodburn to try and keep the danger alive. Support from Moreno. If we had a decent view of that and was content to allow it to go. It's begun at a decent tempo in the heat in Mainz. Mid-20s Celsius today. Bright blue skies overhead at the end of what has been a punishing pre-season schedule. Mainz aren't done yet. 2 weeks till their first competitive fixture. That's a cup game against the regional side Unterhaching. A week later they begin in the Bundesliga at the end of this month. A trip to another of their former coaches, Thomas Tuchel, and Borussia Dortmund. Jurgen Klopp, I'm sure, will be keeping a close eye on that one from afar as well. And some start to their league season. It is still 3 weeks away. They'll have one more pre-season friendly schedule due Mainz after this, and that will be on Thursday behind closed doors at their training ground. So training ground, it's the old Brookvik Stadium where they used to play before the move here. There is Karius watching on. Frustrated role as a spectator for the man who featured in every league game for Mainz last season. Germany actually wanted him for their Olympic squad in Rio. He turned them down so he could concentrate on becoming first choice at Liverpool. He would have had to miss the first 2 games of the Premier League season had he gone to Brazil. As it is, he can't play anyway. Space for Moreno. Covered decent ground before the challenge came in from Clemens, who will come away with it and drive it back at them here. Options either side. Support from Donati. It was all so promising until that moment. Can afford to smile, I guess, in the circumstances, can Jose Rodriguez, who is effectively the replacement for the departed club captain. Julian Baumgartlinger, who was such a key figure of the side last year, has gone to Bayer Leverkusen. They couldn't persuade him to sign a new deal. So Rodriguez effectively is his replacement, the former Real Madrid man. Learned his trade at the Bernabeu. Impressed in a season with Galatasaray to earn his move to the Bundesliga. Cordoba. But it goes towards Clemens. Wisdom away. taking over as captain for this season. A vacancy for the armband. Stephen Bell, the centre-back, has been skipper throughout pre-season and is expected to lead the side when the competitive action gets going. And alongside the Nigerian Leon Balogun at centre-back. Still one or two passes going astray. There is Balogun. Liverpool are that further down the line in terms of their development ahead of the competitive action starting, but they're under pressure again here. Finding a hand in there, and the referee has spotted it. Well, Jordan Henderson will lead the Liverpool complaints here. He took a little while, referee Jochen Dis, but they were appealing straight away for the handball as Rodriguez cut this back. It was Andre Wisdom, the arm was raised. Almost the bicep of Wisdom there. And penalty given. This would be some start for the home side, almost quarter of an hour in. And the penalty is cruelly converted by Brzezinski. Never in doubt. Up steps the left back to give Mainz the early lead. And even Jurgen Klopp stands and applauds. The frustration felt by his team over the award. Manigat given little chance with that. Important player in the side that finished sixth last season was Brzezinski. Not necessarily for his goal scoring though, just the one Bundesliga goal he got. He's put Martin Schmidt's side in front here. Blazing temperatures on the banks of the Rhine. He kept his cool beautifully to beat Maninka. And Liverpool got by way of instant response then. It'll certainly be demanding one. Happy with 98% of what happened at Wembley against Barcelona yesterday, he said. Not happy with how this one has started. And it has generally, according to Jurgen Klopp, been something of a mixed bag in pre-season for Liverpool. Far from perfect, he says, because of the injuries that they have picked up. Karius was the obvious one there. Still missing the likes of Lucas Leiva, Mamadou Sakho. Now James Milner and Daniel Sturridge as well, who haven't made this trip and are doubts for Arsenal next week. First four friendlies on English soil without conceding a goal did Liverpool, but then beaten by Chelsea at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And Gary Cahill's early goal, they recovered to beat AC Milan by a couple of goals to nil in Santa Clara. And ended that trip to the USA last Tuesday with a 2-1 defeat against Roma in St. Louis in Missouri. Despite changing the whole team at half-time, Jurgen Klopp was furious with that performance. He's also played in the sweltering heat, the centre of North America. He said afterwards it's his duty to make sure a performance like that doesn't happen again for the next 500 years, was the way he put it, despite it being just a pre-season match. So important to Jurgen Klopp, his first pre-season at Liverpool, of course. And to sign off this sequence of friendlies with a victory, they're going to have to come back from behind. Woodburn trying to force it through. Changing the flying in, friendly or otherwise. Moreno penalised. Cordoba is causing them a few problems, as we rather expected he might. The man that got the winner against Bayern last season in the Bundesliga back in March. Mainz famously were the only club to win at the Allianz Arena in league football last season. 5 goals that he got, Cordoba, the Colombian under-20 international. Swiss coach there, Martin Schmidt, has been building from the back really in terms of their pre-season preparations. Fitness first in Colorado. They were training in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. To America for the first time in their history actually this summer. Going back to the training ground. Don't forget they ordered the penalty for the handball there by Wisdom, and the call conversion of it by Brzezinski. Mainz had 8 days in Italy, a couple of friendlies. Won and lost one. It's the defensive drills that they've been working on. Schmidt said he wasn't too concerned about the lack of sharpness in front of goal, because that will follow once the freshness returns. A lot of travelling, a lot of hard work on the training field, physical endurance stuff done in the early part of the summer. As there is tiredness in the legs at this juncture. But at least once that goes, then the threat will coming forward. Causing Liverpool plenty of problems coming forward already today. Maybe backing up his words. It was a nasty challenge by Moreno, just left his leg in and clearly caught Cordoba. He was on loan from Granada in Spain last season. He's now signed a permanent 4-year contract. He activated the option that they had to make that move, a more permanent one. Still only 23. They believe there is plenty more improvement to come as far as the striker is concerned. Confident in possession as they wait to get Cordoba back on the field. Still temporarily down to the 10 men Mainz here. This is Donati as they restored to full complement. All the way back to Lössl. Not an occasion where they will take any chances either side with fitness, of course, but looks like he should be able to run that one off. He's certainly going to give it a go. Balls from Lössl goes straight out of play. He's the Danish number 2 goalkeeper behind Kasper Schmeichel at international level. He made his debut back in March against Scotland. Taken in from the French side, Guingamp actually. So work with Stefan Kuhne, the goalkeeping coach of some repute in these parts. And given the number 1 shirt, says he wants to prove why. His gloves will be big ones to fill, though, certainly. A 3-year contract, Lössl. Schmidt had been following him, he said, for a while. He's got the full package. There's Wisdom. He might feel a little hard done by, having conceded that penalty. Just to put it behind him. I believe he will be one of those to go before the end of the transfer window again. They've been out on loan for each of the last 2 seasons. The squad will be trimmed, just not yet, as they fulfil these friendly fixtures. Quantity is needed as well as quality, said Jurgen Klopp, but that will change come the serious stuff starting, and they will streamline the squad. Doesn't want over 30 players, as they currently have. There's Moreno. Vojic working it wide. Henderson, Emre Can. Origi just about find the time to turn before it was taken off him by Balogun. Back they go to Lössl. This wasn't particularly convincing though. We're content to let that one go. Runs away from Origi. Origi also a goal scorer off the bench at Wembley. He came on for Coutinho at half-time. Matched changes again at some stage are planned today. We'll see a fair few of those at the break. Didn't do it yesterday, but generally in pre-season Jurgen Klopp's been off the habit of making sweeping changes as well, around about 20 minutes into the second half of games. It will be a foul on Moreno by Cordoba. All of that particular duel, and a role reversal from the one a few moments ago that led to the Colombians' period of treatment. Certainly been an eagerly anticipated fixture in these parts. This game is the Opel Arena, newly renamed as part of a sponsorship deal, which will run for the next 5 years. Liverpool, because of Jurgen Klopp, are many Mainz supporters' second club these days. And here go Mainz looking to score a second goal. De Blasis in the end of the ball from Cordoba. Just couldn't quite bring it under full control there, the Argentinian. Donati. So Suet Seda has risen through the ranks of the youth academy in the midfield. German youth international of Turkish descent. And against Emre Can in the heart of that midfield. Of course, Can from a summer with Germany. Spent in France at the Euros. There's Donati waiting to take that throw. They brought him from Bayer Leverkusen. He's been in Germany since 2013 now. Never played a league game for Inter, where he came through the ranks. 26 caps for Italy, albeit the last of those some 3 years ago now. And Siwik did well initially. Kosinski taking over. Dangerous crossing towards De Blasis. Didn't quite get the angle right. But further encouragement for the home side and their supporters as they continue to take the game to Liverpool. Maybe not his strongest suit in the air there, De Blasis, scorer of 4 Bundesliga goals last season. He's the one finding pockets of space, albeit there wasn't an awful lot of it for him on that occasion. He joined from the Greek side, Asteris, a couple of years ago. Versatile player in that front line, can play in any of those attacking positions really. He's certainly used to having to rebuild really each summer. Don't have the resources of many of their rivals, but they've been punching above their weight for a while in Germany. And they advance again through on Onisiwu. Pace starting to cause Liverpool a few problems, and they've got plenty to aim for in the penalty area here. And that by Matip. And back by Serdar. And they will let the ball go out in the end. Stefan Bell. Liverpool have the man down. Not just Jurgen Klopp, of course, returning to Mainz today. Zelko Buvac alongside him. Also spent the majority of his playing career here and was Klopp's coach as they took the team into the Bundesliga. And it's Grujic who's down, by the way, that's the reason why. Now that they signed from the Serbian champions Crvena Zvezda back in January and allowed him to remain there for the rest of last season on loan. He's had an impressive pre-season. That dream come true when he first got his name on the score sheet for Liverpool. He did in the pre-season victory at Fleetwood Town. 3 goals in 4 pre-season matches for Grujic so far, and there might have been more but for a nasty blow to the head in the game against Chelsea in the US that Forced him to sit out the following couple of matches because of concussion. This was one of the hottest tickets in town as the fixture was arranged. Jurgen Klopp wanting to bring Liverpool here. He said it's a great pleasure to introduce Liverpool to Mainz and Mainz to Liverpool. 34,000 capacity, as I mentioned, and tickets for this one sold out within 5 minutes of going on sale, we understand. About 500 were granted to Liverpool and their travelling support. Some concern, certainly for Klopp, particularly given how the injuries have continued, not exactly to pile up in pre-season, but to come along at inopportune moments, particularly at the back. There's left to talk that they might try and sign another centre-back. I think just returning from that ankle problem today. Lucas, who can fill in the heart of that defence, out with a hamstring injury, suffered against Wigan. Sarko hasn't featured in pre-season. Martin Skrtel, of course, was allowed to depart for Turkey. It's a big test for Matip, physically as much as anything. If they do have him penciled in to partner maybe Dejan Lovren against Arsenal next week. Klopp says he certainly hasn't got anywhere close to selecting his side for that game at the Emirates just yet. Insisted we couldn't read anything into the starting 11s for the two respective friendlies this week. There had been some suggestion maybe the 11 that began against Barcelona yesterday were ahead in the queue of those lining up today. Dismissed completely by Klopp. He also made the point that if anybody was so disappointed at not starting against Barcelona and let that affect their performance today, then he would be straight down on them, and it would prove to him that they weren't ready to be involved in the side from the start anyway. Quarterback, so difficult to shrug off the ball in those sort of situations. Defending from the front, really, which is a key part of the policy employed by Martin Schmidt. Not dissimilar in style, really, his approach to that of Jurgen Klopp. High-tempo pressing game. Worked a lot in pre-season on working as a unit. And one-on-one work defensively, being more aggressive and getting tighter to players. Continuation of the work done last year. This is his first full season in charge. Took them from an 11th place finish to the top 6. Actually 5th going into the final day of the season. The goalless draw against Hertha Berlin saw them slip 1 place, but ensured they finished above Hertha on goal difference to automatically qualify for the Europa League. It's a dangerous ball in by Clemons, real chance. A little look at the referee for a handball. As Henderson back there defending his own box gets it away. Serdar. Forward by Donati. The flick was by De Blasis. Trent Alexander-Arnold getting his head to it, but it keeps on coming back at Liverpool here. It's a difficult spell for them. There's Christian Clemons again, beautiful skill, not quite matched by the finish. And it was away from Moreno to create the shooting opportunity, which he didn't quite catch hold of. How about that, to take Moreno out of the equation though. Touch with the left foot with the finish, not quite as impressive as that with the right in the setup. Woodburn working it wide for Alexander-Arnold, the two academy players combining. There's Wisdom. Henderson very much providing the experience today and looking for the run of Divock Origi, trying to give them a focal point up front. Plenty of competition for his place this season, Origi. Mainz on the bench today is fit again. Roberto Firmino's been playing a more central role through much of pre-season actually. Sturridge, until recently, hip problem in the last few days, had a rarity really for him of a full pre-season. Should be comfortably cleared away in the end, and is. No Christian Benteke in the travelling party today though. And Liverpool insist he won't be sold cheaply, with Crystal Palace amongst the interested suitors as they have been for much of the summer. Clemens again did well to keep it in initially, rather less so with what followed. Come Liverpool again. Moreno from full-back is the furthest forward, and looked like he got away from Donati before being brought down by his opposing full-back there. He may be feeling he had little option but to leave the leg in, because otherwise he was beaten and Moreno was away. It's not been a pre-season friendly, that might have been a yellow card. This has kept those in his pocket so far. But a promising angle for Liverpool from the free kick. Again, it's Moreno and Henderson over it. No shortage of targets for them waiting in the middle. Will be left for the right foot of Jordan Henderson. Lallana to give chase and try and keep the danger alive here. Probably wouldn't expect to see Lallana in the second half. Blind towards Matip, who couldn't quite control it. Maybe he wasn't expecting it actually to get that far. And push the defenders up from the back for the set piece. There could be a bit of room for Mainz to work here. Making the run for them through the middle was Clemens. Didn't get that far. Still had enough back. In the yellow did Liverpool. Which is actually their third kit for the coming season. Given an outing today. Mainz in the Liverpool-esque red, who have had the better of things really going into the final 10 minutes now of this first half. Not too many chances for either side, bar that penalty that separates them. Kuczynski, who scored it, is striding forward with intent again here. Chase on to keep the danger alive. He did so on a see where it's at as far as Clemens. Closed down before he really could get his shot away, which made it much more difficult than otherwise it might have been for Christian Clemens. And there might not be clear-cut chances being created here. But they are looking the more threatening of Mainz. Liverpool claiming that ball had gone out of play. Might have had a case actually before it was hucked back by Karim Onisiwu from the byline. Liverpool say from behind the byline. Really to get a foothold, Liverpool in the midfield just at the moment. So as I say, that Grujic wins it well and releases Divock Origi. Grujic will try and make his way into the middle. Lallana was making ground as well. Origi fancied it himself. That shows his confidence in front of goal, perhaps. But it was never really troubling the target, and from the moment it left the boot of the Belgian, Jonas Lösselin goal there was able to breathe again. But his top corner was exposed. Had Origi been able to locate it, you could certainly see why he fancied the shot. And this is the Serbian Marko Grujic down again. Given that we have already seen one little period of treatment for him in this first half, it might be a case of Jurgen Klopp not wanting to take any chances. "17 players, by the way, for Liverpool are available in reserve as part of the travelling party on the bench. 3 of them were drafted in at the last minute. Tony Gomez, Sam Hart and Joe Maguire. The younger players, given the experience of travelling with the first team. Called in at such late notice, by the way, that they don't actually have their own kit here. So Tony Gomez is wearing the departed Joe Allen's shirt. Sam Hart has Jordan Ives, and Joe Maguire's has Ryan Kent's, who's gone out on loan. You may see them at some stage. Well, it's certainly off for the time being. On in his place will be Danny Ings, rapidly called for from the bench. Never going to take a chance in the circumstances if there is the hint of an injury issue. We're still waiting to find out the full damage done by James Milner to his heel yesterday at Wembley. He's back in Liverpool for scans. And they're causing problems down the flanks. This time the cross is prevented from coming in, but it required the intervention of Lallana back doing those defensive duties. As Liverpool look to bring Ings into the action. They scored their first goal of pre-season in the 1-0 victory at neighbours Tranmere Rovers on the 8th of July. And Danny Ings got another against Wigan as well before the trip to the USA. And here he comes in place of Grujic. He was injured right before Jurgen Klopp's arrival at the club back in October last season and spent virtually all of it on the sidelines, having to watch the new coach work from afar. Only now is he getting the chance to be part of it. Whistle had gone. It looked like a dangerous cross could come in. It was Stefan Bell trying to get on the end of it. Introduction of Ings likely to be the first of many substitutions today, but an enforced one this time. Woodburn giving chase. Haven't really been able to get him into the game yet, the 16-year-old. Scored twice in pre-season in those games at Fleetwood and Wigan. Ben Woodburn at the age of 16, under 17 captain. Bell just trying to calm things down a little bit. Well, he came through the youth ranks. He's been with Mainz since 2007 now, part of the first team for 6 years. From the German under-21 international. Forward by Lallana in the general direction of Origi. Woodburn will get his head to it. Makes it for Lallana to take in his striding. Gets a toe to it though. There's Jordan Henderson. Woodburn forced wide. You can see what he's trying, and it very nearly paid off for Ben Woodburn. It does to the extent of winning the corner. It's almost even better than that. He was almost away. Precious confidence of youth. Henderson, the skipper, to take it then. Deeper delivery. Goalkeeper clings on. Similar in stature to Karius at 6'5". A couple of seasons he had with Guingamp in France after the move from Michelin back home. He's in the squad for Denmark's European Championship playoff defeat to Sweden back in November. And as I mentioned, Kasper Schmeichel, it's his ultimate aim to reverse their roles and become his nation's number one. So he's playing in the Bundesliga as the next step towards achieving that. So a strong run from the Nigerian Balogun. Origi outnumbered. He'll still be able to make something happen here, Divock Origi for Liverpool. He was looking for Lallana. Bell was able to intervene though. Clemens. Donati. Signs of Liverpool coming back into this before the break. Now is whistled out of it, but gets the decision. Need to maybe up the intensity of their players. We head towards half-time, not hanging around in the heat. They should be used to it, I guess, by now in pre-season. To the trip to California. They certainly are, to the training that they did in Colorado at altitude. Lallana. Woodburn, not quite. Doesn't want to put too much pressure on Ben Woodburn, says Jurgen Klopp, given the impact that he's made in pre-season. Couple of goals, a lot of assists to his name as well. Still just 16. Klopp admits he's a player who should have a very bright future, along with a number of others at the academy that he is keeping a close eye on. But an awful lot of hard work for them to do, he says, yet before they should start to make the headlines. Wants to focus on the work rather than the profile that they're beginning to build for themselves, which is always the case, of course, when they're exposed to first-team football. It won't be a case of simply playing them in pre-season and then forgetting about them again. It's all part of an ongoing process in their development. There's a proven track record in that respect of bringing those younger players through, which began, of course, here at Mainz. A job that he took with no previous managerial experience. Now here goes Cordoba. It might open up for the Colombian. It's a strong run. It's matched by the finish. 2-0 Mainz. John Cordoba has doubled their lead in the last minute of this first half. A smile on the face of the returning Jurgen Klopp, belying maybe what he must be thinking at this juncture. Is it a smile of disbelief that his defence didn't deal with the danger? It all started from a Liverpool move breaking down on halfway. One ball forward, finding Cordoba around Joel Matip and beating Manninger on his near post. He is rapidly proving himself the man for the big occasion. Might be pride rather than points at stake today, but it's a huge stage for these Mainz players. It's the last kick of the first half. Nothing added on at the end of the first 45. Liverpool still trying to get their heads around the concession of that second goal scored by this man Cordoba. For the team that had gone in front just 15 minutes in from the penalty spot, Daniel Klosinski's goal after Andre Wisdom's disputed handball. Few clear chances really for either side after that until Cordoba signs off the half in style. It's the Bundesliga team who are enjoying themselves here at the Opel Arena. Half time, it's Mainz 2, Liverpool 0.
Frisch rasiert. Das Ding funktioniert richtig.
Attention, international commentary to resume in 10 seconds. Welcome back. We are almost set for the start of the second half at the Opel Arena. It's leading Liverpool by 2-0, and as you can see, the anticipated raft of changes is ongoing at the start of this second half. Kevin Stewart and Cameron Brannigan both introduced, so too Conor Randall, who broke into the Liverpool Premier League side at the end of last season with a couple of starts, is on at the interval. And Liverpool need more here. Change for the home side as well. On comes Fabian Frey, back from international duty with Switzerland at the Euros. So it's Liverpool who get this second half started. Side that have won 6 of their 8 previous pre-season friendlies, but having to do this the hard way, certainly in the last of them, just a week before they get their league campaign underway in North London at Arsenal. In less than 24 hours after victory over Barcelona in London at Wembley. It's a performance that maybe raised expectations ahead of the season. It's been a little more sobering for Jurgen Klopp's side on his return home today. Mainz goals coming from the penalty spot from Brzezinski 15 minutes in, and then from John Cordoba with a well-taken goal with the last kick of the first half. It was too strong for the Liverpool defence and found a finish to match. Mainz all in the red, being forced back towards their own penalty area at the start of their second period. Liverpool looking to link down their right. First involvement for the half-time substitute, Randall. Henderson takes a touch. The captain continues for the time being. As does Moreno's just beaten to that in the nick of time as Donati gets it away. As Liverpool were forced into a first half change as well because of an injury to Marko Grujic, who couldn't continue and was replaced by Danny Ings. Schmidt will be happy enough so far. It's shaping up to be the standout result of their pre-season, which includes a 1-0 home defeat to Sevilla. So that famously beat Liverpool, of course, in last season's Europa League final. Season absent from European competition awaits Liverpool, but Mainz go straight through to the group stages of that competition for the first time in their history. That's the fact that Schmidt has been busy, not just on the training ground, but in the transfer market as well over the summer. And he says he is happy now with the strength of that squad, that he has proven players of real pedigree in reserve to cope with the additional demands of the continental competition. Helped out by the new sporting director here, Ivan Schroeder. Arrived in April, has since gone on to take the top job in terms of the transfer dealings. He replaced Christian Heidel, who'd done it for best part of 24 years. Emotional departure for him on the final day of last season. And off to join Schalke. Schroeder arriving from Werder Bremen. He has been busy. One of their main summer signings, Mainz today, Jean-Philippe Gabamin, the French under-21 international. He signed from Lens last month. Came back from their Italian training camp with an injury that has ruled him out today, and may well keep him out at the start of the season. We go back to another of the new boys, Lössl, the goalkeeper. Very short on options in that position at the moment because of an injury suffered in the game in Italy on Thursday night. Gianluca Curci came to collect a cross, landed awkwardly, has suffered a calf problem as a result of that. helped either in the goalkeeping department by the fact that another of their backups, Yannick Huth, third choice last season, is away with Germany in Rio at the Olympics as well. They do come forward with intent here, fly straight into the action. He's got options either side. That was Clemens, who will feel perhaps he should have scored. Played up by another of the half-time changes, Yunus Mali, the Turkish international. Again, it came after Liverpool were caught in possession. Thought about taking it on himself, but he was well aware of the presence of Clemens initially in all sorts of space to his right. Good vision and awareness from Mali. Christian Clemens maybe just took a shade too long. Came off Andre Wisdom, who got the block. Mainz get the corner. 4 or 5 to aim for in the middle. There's Fry. Jose Rodriguez sees his effort charged down. Fabian Fry and Yunus Mali, first choice players who will expect to be in the starting 11 at the start of the season, but they were later back to training than the rest of their colleagues because of international duty. Fry got as far as the last 16 at the Euros with Switzerland, losing to Poland on penalties. Yunus Mali and Turkey unable to get out of the group in the end. German-born, actually, Turkish international. Got 7 caps for his country. Garrett Holtman brought down. There's another that they've brought on at the break. One of the new signings from Eintracht Braunschweig in the second tier. Just beginning to find their feet again, maybe Mainz after the break, and the impact that those changes had on their momentum. Just to confirm the Liverpool substitutes for you in full, 4 of them at half-time. Brannigan, Randall, Stewart and Gomez on as well. Tony Gomez was one of the late additions to the travelling party, the Portuguese youth international. Alexander Arnold, Emre Can, Adam Lallana and Ben Woodburn that have made way. Just to sort all that out for you, there will be more to follow maybe if this man has his way. I'm sure it will be part of his thinking as the game goes on. Didn't make as many changes against Barcelona at Wembley yesterday as might have been expected, perhaps because of the way the game went. Corner is in and out by Wisdom. As far as Rodriguez. Wasn't really tested, was he, in the first half, Jonas Lössl there, that Mainz goal. Generally have been strong defensively in pre-season. Very disappointed with a 2-0 defeat against Navarra, the Serie B side, on Thursday. They dominated, but they conceded to 2 direct free kicks, one 2 minutes in and the other in added time. In between, they were the dominant force, as they are again just at the moment here. Holtman had intercepted a position of promise, one that he wasn't able to capitalise on, and Liverpool have it back with Alberto Moreno. Here's Gerrit Holtman, who's been involved fairly frequently since half-time. He could take no chances under some pressure. Players making way for Mainz as part of their 3 changes. Holtman, Mali and Fry on for Karim Motanasiru, for Suat Serda in the midfield, and for the goal scorer John Cordoba. Straight with the last kick of the first half, his last kick of the game. Fans just starting to find their voices again. They started their second half. 4 of them disappeared from their seats during the interval. There wasn't a spare seat to be had. And of course the standing section as well. They have embraced the visit of Liverpool. Their own take on "You'll Never Walk Alone" before kick-off, and a huge banner of those words unfurled across the main stand. Quite a sight before kick-off. They haven't afforded that generosity of welcome to Jurgen Klopp and his side on the pitch, though. They've been right up for this. And in recent years have continued really to accept the odds. The season they had in finishing 6th, they were only 5 points actually off a Champions League playoff position. And he's a little concerned maybe, despite the increased depth of the squad, as to the demands of the Europa League. They've seen clubs like their neighbours Eintracht Frankfurt, like Augsburg, struggle to balance Europa League and Bundesliga football. That's the challenge for the 0-5ers this coming season under Schmidt. And they're certainly going to embrace here. It come for Mali, it does. He had the Blasis waiting with intent in the middle. And he'd spotted him as well, just wasn't quite able to locate him. The third goal at this stage may well put it beyond Liverpool once and for all. Fatigue may be a factor. And there's nobody going to have played the majority of the game against Barcelona to do so again today. Even so, the travelling involved, the tight turnaround, the amount of matches that they've already managed in pre-season. They've been much more active of Liverpool than many Premier League sides. They kept balancing act in that respect to make sure they're in prime condition for next week at Arsenal. The first 3 league games all away from home because of the redevelopment work going on at Anfield. They've swapped their fixture with Burnley to an away game. So they won't play at home until the visit of the champions, Leicester City, after the international break on the 10th of September. Arsenal, Burnley and Tottenham all away from home before that. Mainz also on their travels in the early part of their season. That's simply down to the fixture computer. 3 of their first 4 Bundesliga games are actually away from home. They won't play a competitive game again here until the 11th of September when Hoffenheim visit. In their first home league game of the season. They start as mentioned in the first half at Dortmund, and after that visit of Hoffenheim they go to both Augsburg and to Werder Bremen. Also away in the first round of the German Cup in a couple of weeks' time. That's their first competitive fixture. That's Unterhaching. One more friendly to come against Cologne before then for Mainz. Flag up against Origi. Two of them were in offside positions as Wisdom went for the crossfield ball. 5 Premier League goals last season for Divock Origi from just 7 starts. Featured more prominently off the bench. Club that he's fallen in love with, I would say, over the last couple of years since making the move to Merseyside. No pressure, I guess, on Jonas Lössl with the man he's replaced. Carrying us watching on in the stands now of Liverpool. Blasis with the ball in field to Mali. He's the one that makes it happen for Mainz, and that is why. Thunderous finish for 3-0, and they're really enjoying themselves here. Yunus Mali off the bench at half-time to make a real difference. and to maybe take this match away from Liverpool. Well, a couple of times we've seen him in this sort of position, and he's opted for the pass. The Turkish international decides to go it alone with spectacular results this time. He covered a lot of ground in the build-up. They stood off him though, afforded him the space to get that shot away. Perfectly placed into the bottom corner though. Utterly dominant Mainz at the moment as we head for the hour mark. Hasn't taken Yunus Mali long to make an impact today. Got 11 goals for them last season. Key figure in that 6th place finish. Still not enough to wipe the smile off Jurgen Klopp's face. It's never far away, is it? But just as they were brilliant in beating Barcelona and earning all the plaudits yesterday, it's something of a role reversal here. Albeit not with the strongest starting lineup, of course. He will say, just as you can't read too much into a 4-0 win at Wembley in a pre-season game, nor can you read too much into a heavy defeat, as this is shaping up to be just at the moment. But Moreno is the man making way for the latest in the series of substitutions. It's Sam Hart, his replacement. This is a big moment for the Bolton-born left-back. Regular with Liverpool's under-18s, since he signed actually from Manchester United some 4 years ago. Not too many make that particular move, even at his age. But Hart is on in a position that Liverpool are still, we understand, looking to strengthen if they can before the close of the transfer window. Flag up against Mali this time. He is in the mood for more by the looks of things. It's a close call.
Ja, liebe Fußballfreunde, Mainz 05 sagt herzlich Dankeschön bei 31.600 Zuschauern. Schön, dass ihr den Weg heute in die Lawine gefunden habt. Und denkt dran, die neue Saison beginnt auch bald, also sicher Deutsch. Wenn ihr mitfahren
Stuart had done well initially to ride the challenge, but might still have it back very quickly in the midfield. The Blasis, since Mali's introduction, he's gone wider. There's Honkman, another of the half-time changes. Two substitutes combining here. They are dictating the tempo. They really are bossing it and enjoying themselves. So Saudi finished 6th in the Bundesliga last season against the team that finished 8th in the Premier League. So there are a few that would have expected the Germans to be in charge to quite this extent, particularly given that they are further behind as well in their pre-season preparations and further away from their own big kick-off. Just a series of chances in the game that they played in the foothills of the Alps on Thursday against Novara. Profligacy and that lack of sharpness in front of goal cost them. What a difference a few days makes. Getting ready themselves for further changes. Alexander Hack and Bessa Halimi. Well, 2 of those being readied. There will be more. Martin Schmidt, to an extent, finds himself in the same position that Jurgen Klopp was in at Wembley yesterday, wondering maybe whether to change it when in such a good position against such famous, stellar opposition. Really would give their preparations a major boost for the new season and help generate momentum. But they will make the changes, although it does highlight that strength in depth that I was talking about. Jairo Sampero is another of those coming on. He's a proven first-team performer. Clemens coming on. So to number of those integral to them getting themselves in this position in the first place. Pablo de Blasis is being replaced as well. There he is, the Argentine. The captain's gone off as well, Stefan Bell. Comes Halimi there amongst others. And again, it might just take a few minutes for this to bed down again. Those substitutes to settle into their stride. It'll be for us to work out exactly who is playing where. There will be a change of shape afforded by those substitutions, as well as a hefty change in personnel. We're used to it by this juncture of pre-season. Brzezinski's taken over the captain's armband, by the way, since Bell departed. Shinori Muto is another of the changes. He's a Japanese international striker. He signed last year from FC Tokyo. 7 goals in the Bundesliga last season. He's actually once on Chelsea's wish list. It's before he made the move to Germany. A hat-trick against Augsburg back in October with Muto, the highlight of last season. Only the second Japanese player to ever do that in Germany's top division. Balogun playing it forward. For Donati to do against Tony Gomez. Joe Allen's old number. He'll turn 18 until November, player from Guinea-Bissau. So the 2-year professional deal only last month. Oh, the bounce of the ball favouring Origi. Can he make something of it? No, it had gone out of play. Almost onto it, Divock Origi, showing the requisite sharpness to remain a major threat. Claiming initially that it had first gone out on the far side, then Donati's attempted clearance was touched down invitingly into the path of Origi, but it was actually his touch that led him down there, and as you can see from the replay, had clearly crossed the byline. Correct call. They're trying to play their way out of trouble though. It's a risky policy in the circumstances, and it comes at the expense of the corner. Balogun, who was born in Germany, but has 4 caps now for Nigeria. With proven Bundesliga experience with Hanover and a spell at Darmstadt as well. As the corner comes in and is comfortable for Lussell, the goalkeeper, to gather. Committed plenty forward at Liverpool in search of a foothold in the game. Now they've got to get those bodies back behind the ball, and in fairness to them, they did that pretty quickly. They reached the midway point of the second half. Mental challenge as much as a physical one for Liverpool from here in this final pre-season friendly. They know their work in these sort of games is almost done. They want to finish on this sort of note. Miles the legs have already put in travelling and training, and the 8 games that they've already played before today, though it's going to take some summoning up, the required effort in the circumstances. Not the homecoming he'd envisaged. A warm welcome, as he was always going to be afforded off the field. Certainly not been extended on it. And he would have expected nothing less, Jurgen Klopp. His side haven't, though, responded as he would have liked themselves. And Mali playing that forward. Just ran out of room, Jero Sampero. only just on, still maybe trying to adjust to the pace of the game, which has perhaps suffered as well as a result of those substitutions. He signed from Sevilla a couple of years ago for €2 million on a 4-year deal, former Spanish under-21 international. He also scored that famous 2-1 win at Bayern last season. 7 goals that he got. He was a regular starter in the Bundesliga, Jaro. Was always the favourite, but goes to the ground just to make sure, I think. Alexander Heck, first real involvement since he came on. He was a get part player at centre-back last season, just 7 appearances. Formerly of Unterhaching, the regional club they're getting ready to face in the Cup. Might be a contender to play against his old side, actually. The carnival town in Germany. I'll be too young to remember the impact that Jurgen Klopp made here, but we'll have heard all about it, I'm sure. Already gone down in legend, and that promotion to the Bundesliga for the first time in their history under Klopp in 2004. Still referred to by the Liverpool coach as his greatest achievement in football. Partly because they'd never been there before, partly because of the previous 2 seasons as well, when they fell agonisingly 1 place short of promotion. Second of those seasons by a solitary point, and then just by 1 goal on the final day of the campaign. Picked themselves up to go again and finally made it. Balogun. Klopp revealing in the build-up to this game that he's still in touch with members of that 2004 squad. They've got a text message group set up. One of those of his former players have now moved into coaching themselves, as he revels in reminiscing whatever success he went on to achieve at Dortmund and might go on to achieve at Liverpool. And of course he took them to 2 cup finals last year already. And he'll always have a big place in his heart for this place, where he spent 18 years. Joined back in 1990 as a player, as a striker actually. Halfway through his 8-year tenure, he switched to defence before taking over as coach with no previous experience. It was a bit of a gamble at the time by Harold Strutz, then the president, who's still the president. He's welcomed Klopp back today, so he just knew that he had something about him. Human decency was the quality that Klopp says he brought to the job in fostering the spirit that took them so far. He actually kept them in the Bundesliga for 3 years. Ultimately relegated in 2007. He stuck around for a year to try and get them back in the top flight. It didn't happen. It was a year later when they finally went up again by when he'd moved on to Dortmund. But in the here and now, he's making a couple more substitutions here. One of the summer signings, Gigi Wijnaldum. One of the boys of a year ago from German football, from Hoffenheim. Roberto Firmino getting ready to come on. 3 more changes for Mainz here as well, including in goal. And bringing on Florian Müller in goal, who's being promoted from the youth team for today. Such are the goalkeeping issues they've got at the moment that I mentioned. Philippe Clement, another of the young players coming on as well. Big moment for Müller in goal. Effectively 6th choice when pre-season kicked off. Origi making way for Roberto Firmino. Wijnaldum on as well after that big money move from Newcastle that followed their relegation.
Substitution.
Looked at Cameron Brannigan. This could be his last game actually before a mooted loan move to Wigan in the Championship. They needed him this weekend, but he may be allowed to move on for more regular first team football. Don't want to sell him permanently though. As Mainz attack with menace and make it 4. As simple as that. Straightforward finish for Muto in the end. Liverpool were back, still reorganising after the latest substitutions. Mainz certainly wouldn't use that excuse, though. They made more, and they have more goals. Yoshinobu Muto with this one. Fairly straightforward in the build-up, but completed with clinical efficiency. Cross was right onto the head of Muto, and he wasn't going to miss that one. And the goals keep coming. Well, they were looking forward to their day here, certainly. President Harold Stritz surely couldn't have expected this. Almost likely to be competitive. Many of the home fans were hopeful of victory, but they have taken Liverpool apart with ruthless efficiency in front of goal, and that has been in real contrast to their recent friendly games during that Italian training camp. And they only got back from Italy last night, so it's not as if they've had plenty of time to rest and refresh ahead of this one. At the start I referred to the last time these sides met in a friendly, and Rafa Benitez's Liverpool were beaten by Jurgen Klopp's Mainz and finished 5-0. You have to say, with quarter of an hour of this one to go, a repeat is possible. No reversal for Klopp. A taste of his own medicine at the moment. Hospitable hosts, but ruthless opponents. Mainz will let it go. Just 3 of their starting 11 still on the field now of Liverpool. Have made 10 changes in total so far, but it hasn't changed their effectiveness in front of goal. Liverpool look for something. Jurgen's corner finding the head of Danny Ings, but he can't locate the target. Jonas Lossell went off a few minutes ago, was rarely extended if at all in the action that he saw today. Replacement Florian Muller will maybe be hoping for something similar. Have a chance to make a name for himself with a standout save wouldn't go amiss in the fledgling stages of his career. Far forward again through Bench, and the man who made the goal. Another of the changes. 3 to aim for in the middle here, but it doesn't come. Not it within the way. Only the 2 central defenders, Matip and Wisdom, and goalkeeper Manninger, remain from the start for Liverpool. It's they who have perhaps suffered the most punishment today. And certainly in the wide areas, Mainz have had real joy as well. There's Wijnaldum. Well, just got on the field when that 4th goal was conceded. Randall forward. It's to no avail. Broken to the side in the Premier League, and he started against Bournemouth and Newcastle back in April. Conor Randall. Well, the carnival atmosphere at this stadium, this town is noted for, has increased only as the game has gone on, fuelled by that scoreline. and may yet be more. Forward looking for Wijnaldum, couldn't make it stick. And it will be a free kick. Don't normally need an excuse to enjoy themselves here. No excuse required today. But Liverpool looking for something, and it has crept in the most bizarre of circumstances. Not going to count, I don't think. Because, let's have a look at it, hit Danny Ings, didn't it? Nice shot. Initially, it comes back, offside. Good call. Not too much by a protest from Ings and Liverpool, in fairness, in the end either. It's a dangerous ball though. The goalkeeper took it coolly. He was afforded the space to do that. Liverpool at least beginning to show some more attacking intent in the closing stages. Trying to quiet it down, at least momentarily, the home support here. It's one of three carnival cities in Germany, along with Dusseldorf and Cologne. I have more to shout about here, but the cross is overhit. They usually play the Halamash. Famous carnival tune every time they score a goal at home. The turn of their favourite son has only added to that sense of occasion today. They've been intent on showing him just how far they've come since he left them. Has been back once before. Jurgen Klopp to watch a game during his 4-month spell out of the sport, and he'd left Dortmund before he got the Liverpool job. And this is business, and it's not going well for his team. He'll be sitting very uncomfortably right now in the heat. Such a tight turnaround, is it, from yesterday's game at Wembley? And he says he's had to simply focus on the football, hasn't had time to meet up with as many old friends as he would have liked. He would normally have been able to in different circumstances. It's not only the time that we've seen a tight turnaround, it's the scoreline as well, a complete reversal from Wembley last night. Good ball looking for Muto. Marley lets it run. As far as Hack initially. Try goes crossfield. It had to stab it clear. It was one of those anywhere will do type clearances. At one stage, but they settle for what they've got, Mainz here. Continuing with the foot to the floor until the finish, it would appear. Good by Randall for Liverpool. Yesterday it was Liverpool's turn to revel in the victory over Barca and what that might mean for the season ahead. This time it's the Mainz supporters that will be excited by what is to come on the evidence of this display. And the job now of Martin Schmidt to try and keep feet on the floor. I know as well as anybody that they can't get too carried away by any result. Win or loss in pre-season, plenty of positives, and that's an understatement today, and a big step forward from what we've seen from Mainz so far. They weren't tested in their first couple of games against lower league opposition. They won 5-0 at Alzey, a 6th division side who were celebrating their 70th anniversary when Mainz arrived to play them at the start of July. They won 7-0 at a 5th tier team, Biebrich, just before that, before A 6-0 win against the Colorado Switchbacks in a Freedom Cup contest that they played. Their first game in the USA. It was followed by a 1-1 draw against Leones Negros of Mexico for the Colorado Cup, which they went on to win on penalties. Picked up silverware in that one. Came back home, lost to Sevilla by 1-0. And then they beat Servette and lost to Navarra in those 2 games played in Italy. Stepped it up here significantly. Has made a difference, certainly. Provided a real spark in the second half. Yunus Mali. Now, without key performance, as are Liverpool, but Danny Latza signed a contract extension already, just a year into his Mainz career. He's currently on his way back from injury, abductor muscle problem. So that new deal serves as motivation to get back as quickly as possible. Followed by Muto out wide. Bengtson. It's a threat in the situation since came on. Already creating 1 goal. Here's Boosman. Trying to play the give and go and get it back again. It didn't quite come that far. Halimi did well initially. This came for Yunus Mali. Boosman had delivered the cross. Final 5 at the Opel Arena. Over as a contest for some time. Official attendance confirmed today, 31,600. It's below capacity because of a little section of the ground you can see to your left that wasn't fully open for this one. But every ticket available snapped up. Wisdom's challenge and what has been a difficult afternoon for him. First start of pre-season after a raft of substitute appearances. There's the pressure on to stake a claim. He won't be able to look back on this with a great deal of affection, really. You can see the principles of this Mainz side that Martin Schmidt was talking about, their fundamental values of last year, he says. They're playing dominant football, aggression, strong in defence, switching the play. And they're starting to shift attention, or will be, on the training ground to the attacking side of the game, having concentrated on the basics, on defending up until now. Virtually every chance they've had, they've stuck away this afternoon. Bengtson. Well, he was brought in January of last year from Copenhagen, Swedish international. Played over 100 league matches in Denmark. Again, they stride forward in numbers with intent. Here is Bengtson once more. Keep the ball in play. Food for thought, certainly, on his return. Says it's the city where he grew up, Mainz. He's actually born, was Jürgen Klopp in Stuttgart. This is where he got his footballing education as a young man. And indeed as a young coach after that. 337 games, 52 goals in 11 years. As a player, and 270 matches in the dugout and 7.5 seasons in charge. Mainz have got the job done. And Liverpool probably just want the whistle now. In fairness, they look like they have for a little while. Just about a week to go home and focus on that trip to Arsenal. Jurgen Klopp will have plenty of food for thought over his starting 11. Given the contrasting nature of this weekend's two friendlies, you would imagine to bear more resemblance to that which began against Barcelona. Firmino forward, looking for the run of Wijnaldum. Isn't able to thread it through though. And Mainz stride forward again in the last minute of the 90. They're still not slowing down. Jarahud led the attack and then tries to get on the end of the loose ball as well here, just beaten to it. Firmino. Tony Gomez was the target. And right on at 90 minutes comes the full-time whistle. A sense of optimism for the new season ahead for Martin Schmidt, for Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool.